Good evening, Purple family. Welcome to Shades of Purple, a Prince podcast. I'm your host, Ronica Crutchfield. On tonight's episode, I'm going to be counting down my favorite top 20 Prince music videos. So for those who may or not be on the Facebook page and didn't know, this started off as being a top 10. But as I got to writing my choices down, I quickly realized that I couldn't just do just 10. So I started getting all of these honorable mentions and I was just like, forget this. I might as well just make it a top 20 list. So that's what I did. But before I get into the list, I just want to say, so last night at the Arkansas State Fair, Morris Day and the Time performed. And I mean, it was fantastic. It was Morris Day and Jelly Bean on drums. And the other gentlemen, I didn't recognize them, but the guy on bass, I think they're also from Minneapolis, I believe. And the guy on the guitar, I forgot their names, but they were great. And I just, as great as those other guys were, I just really kind of wish that, Morris and Jelly Bean and Monty Moore and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and Jesse Johnson, like the whole original crew, could get back together. Because I know at this point, Morris Day is getting ready to retire. At least that's what the word is. So he's going on tour, or maybe he's in his tour. I'm not exactly sure. But he did say recently, fairly recently, like a few months ago, that, he's looking to finally retire from music. And, he has every right to do that. He's well into his 60s. And so I'm just glad that I finally got to see him. I mean, he did such a fantastic job, and he did some deeper cuts was in the set list. Like If the Kid Can't Make You Come, he really didn't sing the song. He just kind of did an audience chant or whatever that we did. And then he also did, Gigolos Get Lonely too, of course, which isn't really a deep cut. But there was another song that he did. He did, of course, Oak Tree, Fishnet, and of course, The Walk, Jerk Out. Like, he did all of the hits. Ice Cream Castles, and he had a bunch of people get on stage when he did Ice Cream Castles. I tried to put some of the footage on the Facebook page, but unfortunately, my phone kept on, disconnecting and reconnecting. So I thought I hit play on a longer recording on my phone. It was supposed to be almost 5 minutes, but when I went back to try to upload it, I guess I didn't hit play like a dummy. So all I had was a little 43-second short, and then I had a picture. But if you go on the Facebook page, you'll see that I tried to go live a couple of times. But anyway, none of that did it justice. I mean, he did a wonderful job. I went with my husband and my friend, and we had such a good time. And me and my husband, we didn't have any plans on going to the state fair this year. As a matter of fact, this was the first time that we've ever been together. And it had been the first time that I've been to the state fair in almost 10 years easily. But Morris Day brought us out. And another thing that Morris did during the show was, they did their little Prince tribute. We sang Purple Rain, and you could tell that at one point, Morris was getting really emotional toward the end of the performance. He put his, finger up in the air and kind of looked up in the air. And, you knew then that he was thinking about Prince. And it kind of brought a tear to not only Morris's eye, but my eye a little bit too, because I could see even now, 7 years later, how Prince's death is still affecting Morris and, probably many other people in Prince's camp. We miss you, Prince, and we love you. So let's get into the countdown, y'all. So at top 20, at number 20, forgive me, y'all. At number 20, I have Never Take the Place of Your Man. So this, of course, is from Sign of the Times. And I think this was, I'm assuming it's the official video, but it's actually from the Sign of the Times concert film. And what I like about this video is you can just see, I love the orange outfit, first of all, that he has on. He has, I've talked about this in other episodes, but I really, really love Prince's aesthetic that he just adopts for every single project or album that he does. And so with Sign of the Times, it was, peach and black or orange and black. And he had the ribbons in his hair, the little ducktail, his glasses, that whole thing. And I really, really loved it. And what I really like about this video is kind of the play that, him and Kat kind of do a little flirting, but I also like, his guitar solo. Now, we all know Prince is, serious, dead serious, but also funny, with his guitar solos. He's just a showman. He loves to put on theatrics. And actually, the video kind of cuts the guitar solo short because on the extended version, you hear the whole guitar solo. It's really awesome. And of course, I like the song, Never Take the Place of Your Man. It's an older cut from Sign of the Times. I think it's the oldest. He got it from the vault because he actually recorded it way back in, I believe, 1981 or 1982. And so it was one of those vault tracks that he pulled to put on Sign of the Times. And it just worked. And the video just worked. If you haven't seen the concert movie, please check that out. At some point, I said I was going to review that. And I'm so behind when it comes to my reviews, y'all. I'm so sorry. I still haven't did the Graffiti Bridge movie. And I haven't did the Sign of the Times concert film. And the concert film is kind of hit or miss trying to find it. Because sometimes it's on, one streaming service and then they'll have it for a little while because, the Prince estate doesn't own it. Because apparently whoever originally recorded it for Prince, they won't give the rights over to the estate for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe they want too much money. I don't know. That's the reason why it wasn't included in the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe Edition. So there's still some kind of, contractual dispute with the people who, filmed it for Prince. And that's unfortunate because I really do feel like that is, it's a really, really good concert film. And we know now that, Beyonce and Taylor Swift, they're now coming out with their concert films. And other people before Prince also were doing concert films. But I think Prince's Sign of the Times is really up there. It's definitely in I would say the top 5 of concert films of all time, if not number 1. So they're kind of, I don't want to say they're biting off of Prince, Beyonce and Taylor Swift, but they're definitely, if it wasn't for Prince, there would be no Beyonce or Taylor Swift. Let's just, make that, keep it a buck and say that. But, they owe a lot to Prince and to other artists as well. But anyway, I don't want to get on my soapbox. So y'all know how I do. So let me keep it going. So that's number 20. Number 19 was Somewhere Here on Earth. Now, Somewhere Here on Earth is probably my favorite cut on the 2007 Planet Earth album. And the video is just beautiful. I think there's somewhere, I don't know. I want to say it looks like there's somewhere in the Netherlands, or I think so, in Prague, somewhere in that kind of, exotic locale. And, and of course he has his just a beautiful falsetto in the song. And the song, is really jazzy and it's a beautiful song. And I love the way Prince, he has this white suit on in the video, and he has this beautiful girl with these huge breasts. That's the one thing that kind of stood out about his love interest in this music video is she had on this beautiful flowy dress, and she just had the girls just sitting out there. So, and then also I think if I remember correctly, I didn't really go back like I should have and watched a lot of these videos again, but I do remember, I want to say if it's not this one, it was another video around the same era where he had that baby blue BMW. I know that it's at Paisley Park now on display. And so I think this was the video where you could see the baby blue BMW. And it was just perfect. Prince had on, a white suit with I think a red shirt underneath. And he just looks, of course, gorgeous as always. And I just like the whole aesthetic, just the whole surrounding. He's looking down at her, from his room. And I even liked how the room was decorated. It just looked so, it just oozed Prince. It just elegance, beautiful scenery. I love it. And then I love that they did it at night. Because, a lot of videos are done during the day, but when you do something at night, it just gives it a different type of vibe, different type of feel, you're getting ready to go to bed and you've got this person on your mind and you just can't get them off of your mind. So you just look out the window and just, and just try to picture them being there, So I really, really, really liked that video. That's number 19. So number 18, we've got Diamonds and Pearls, which of course is off of the album of the same name. Diamonds and Pearls, the video, to me, what stood out is, of course, his split that he did with the pearls. Like, he did the split off the couch and then he caught the pearls in his other hand. So that's the one thing I always remembered. Of course, another thing I remember is, I keep on saying, of course, I'm sorry, y'all, but the dancers, like the way that the male dancer just like twisted that girl around, the female dancer just like whipped her up in the air. And of course, I remember the yellow guitar. Those are the three things about the Diamonds and Pearls video that stand out enough. You know, I mean, let me stop saying, of course. I can't help it, y'all. But Rosie Gaines, her her whole vibe, not just her, you know, wonderful, wonderful vocals, but just her whole vibe as well. She really just outsang Prince, you know, on the record, in the studio version, and in the video. Like, and then another thing I like about that video, because I'm thinking about it now in my mind, the bubbles that he had for the kids. You know, that one part where he's talking to the kids, and one of those kids is now a actress, and I can't remember the name of the actress, but she actually, you know, later on when she ran into Prince again, she reminded Prince, like, hey, I was in the Diamonds and Pearls video. And he was like, oh, okay. You know, I think this was like in the early 2000s. I can't remember the actress's name now, but yeah, they had the bubbles, and, you know, he's, you know, connecting with the kids. So it was kind of like this sexy video, but then it turned like, you know, PG friendly with the kids. I mean, it was kind of like just a position show, to speak, but I really liked it. You know, I like the vibe of it. You know, he's kissing on this girl and, you know, getting kind of, you know, freaky, but not freaky. In Mayte's book, she said that Prince had initially wanted Mayte to be his love interest in the video, but the director thought that she was too pretty, and I think also too short. So they hired some other model that Prince didn't find very attractive, but he said, you know, he just went with it, you know, but he had wanted Mayte in the video originally. But anyway, also the ballet dancers as well. I mean, the whole video is another, you know, another instance of Prince's elegance being on display. Because when you think of Diamonds and Pearls, of course you think of, you know, opulence and elegance and, you know, just all the rich people shit. You know, that's what you think of. At least that's what I think of. And I mean, it was just beautifully done by Prince and the director. I can't remember the director's name, but I think it was a lady. It's not the video photographer. It's not the photographer. It's not Saint. Oh, I can't remember her name. I want to say Randy. Randy, that's her first name. I can't remember what her. It's Saint something, but Randy. It wasn't her, but it was another lady, or maybe it was her. But anyway, so that is number 18. Number 17 is Controversy. So what I like about this video is, of course, he's in a church, and that's the setting is what kind of surprised me when I first saw this video. Now, of course, I like his split, you know, I like, you know, his showmanship, but the fact that it was in a church and you could see him jumping off a platform that he was on, you know, in heels, mind you, but the stained glass, from the church window is what stands out to me about that video. And at the end of Controversy, the song, of course, he does the Lord's Prayer. And so when you think about it like that, I mean, it's almost like no brainer that it would be in a church. But that's what really stood out to me is the stained glass. And that's the first thing, like as soon as it comes on, it's like, dun, 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 dun. And, you know, Prince is turned, you know, and then he does his he's turned away from the camera, then he turns around and he does a little snap, and then he, you know, jumps off the platform and he just gets right into it. Controversy was it. And then I like the way, you know, of course, his eyes is looking, you know, at the camera. Was it good for you? Was I what you wanted me to be? You know, I mean, it's just like, he's so, like, a lot of people talk shit about Prince's acting in Purple Rain, and, you know, and Under the Cherry Moon, and of course Graffiti Bridge. But honestly, when he was doing those music videos, to me, that's when he did his best acting. But really, honestly, he wasn't acting. He was really being himself. But he's such a showman that you can't tell when he's acting or when he's, but when it came to his music, he was all in. He was 100% authentic. So let me say that. But if you didn't know any better, you would think that, oh, maybe he's, just putting on a show. But no, that was Prince being his absolute authentic self, in my opinion. So that is number 17. Number 16 is 7. And the video for 7, which was on the Love Symbol album, is really interesting to me because it's him and Mayte and like their little doubles. So they have a couple of boys that kind of are dressed up like Prince, and then they've got some little cute little girl belly dancers kind of dressed up like Mayte. And actually the video for 7 is actually the cover of the album itself. And the video, it was just really interesting. And when I did my review of the Love Symbol album, I said that I was really, really getting into the song 7, when before it wasn't a song that I would necessarily skip, but it wasn't a song that I would necessarily just like listen to more than once. But for some reason, that song 7 really just stuck with me because, like I talked about in my review, there's like an underlining meaning. He's talking about these music companies. There are 7 big music companies, and he's talking about how eventually they're all going to fall and fail. And in a way, that kind of did happen because a lot of music companies now have had to, do a whole about face. Like it's all about streaming and numbers in that way. It's not about, physical sales anymore. And so I think Prince was one of the people that saw that transitioning happening, that eventually, they were going to, not make as much money and they were going to start losing power. And that's what 7 is about. And, I didn't know that for the longest. I just thought, because I knew that Prince, is kind of into what's called numerology, which is like giving like, all these different meanings to numbers and things like that. So I did know that Prince was into that. So I wasn't sure if it was, and 7, is a good luck number. And, like 3 7s, has, all these connotations with heaven and all that. And so I was assuming maybe that's what it kind of was about because, you got the doves and, all this different imagery. You've got this Middle Eastern, vibe with the chimes and all that. And the, of course, the belly dancing. And we see Mayte with the sword on her head, what she would, come to be known for. She did her whole dance. And I really, really like the video. I honestly do. Even with, Prince in this little like funnel thing, and you see the lightning flash, and it's just really theatrical. So, and it's always a video that I like to come back to and, just look at from time to time. So that is number 16. 15 is Musicology. So Musicology, the video, is about this little boy. And I guess he's supposed to be Prince as a little boy, I'm assuming. But, he's on his bike. He goes to his house and he puts on this record. And, he talks about, Musicology, the song is all about going back to the old school and having appreciation for that time period. That time when, James Brown and, Sly and the Family Stone, that whole era. And so it's just giving homage to that era. And in a way, a little Prince in the music video is, he's vibing out to, the vinyl record. And then another thing that I noticed about this music video, Musicology, was the fact that, the rapper like, guys that were in there, they were security kind of made them leave, because even though Prince, I think, made his peace with rap music, I still don't think that he really, really cared for it, so, and I think this was indicative by the way that, because the people, the so-called rapper people, they had, back in the early 2000s, like long white tees were in fashion, and they would put, over the long white tees, they would have like, this big, jewelry, like jewelry worth, hundreds of thousands of dollars over a long white tee. Like, who figures? So those were some people that, security was like, no, you can't come to this party. This is an old school party, So it had kind of had that feel to it. It had Prince, on stage doing his thing as always. And so it's a fun video that I always like to, look at from time to time when I'm thinking about the musicology period. And really the musicology period for a lot of people was Prince coming back, into the mainstream. Now, there's, a lot of debate about that among Purple family that think, well, of course he had, projects prior to musicology, but for the larger public, musicology was people being reintroduced to Prince, because the musicology tour was the highest grossing tour of 2004, by the way. And so it was, so this album really propelled Prince back into the spotlight. He was put into the Hall of Fame in 2004, and he also performed with Beyonce, I think, on the Grammys that year as well. So 2004 was a really, really good year for Prince. So musicology is number 15. So number 14, we have Dinner with Dolores, which is on, I think, one of Prince's most underrated albums, Chaos and Disorder. And I think it's probably my favorite song on that album, Dinner with Dolores. And the video, the girl in there was just gorgeous, by the way. And she kind of gave me like Vanity vibes, because there's two different rumors about who Dolores supposedly was. There's one rumor that says it was actually about Vanity. And then there's another rumor saying that it was about Madonna. And I'm kind of leaning toward more so Vanity, but then I don't know, because he has that line where he says, dancing like a white girl on dirty floors. So, I mean, Madonna is a white girl. So that makes me think, maybe it's about Madonna, but also Vanity, it could be about her too, because she is half a white girl. And the reason why there was a rumor about it being Vanity, because even though this was around 95, 96 or so, she had, of course, made her transition into being, holy. But there was, so-called rumors that, this was right before she got married to that guy that would, go on and kill people and abuse her and all this stuff, that football player. So I think she married him in like 96 or 97. And so I think this was right before they got married. That Prince was still kind of in contact with her. They would talk on the phone, and they supposedly, went out one night and hooked up. And so this supposedly is Prince talking about that night, but it can really be about either one of them. But what I like about the video is it was like, kind of, Dinner with Dolores is telling the story about going out with this girl, and that how she kind of came on to him too strong. But you notice that he tried to make it seem like he kind of rebuffed her sexual advances, but I mean, I don't see Prince, if he really wanted to be with have sex with a girl, I'm sure that he would have. And I'm pretty sure that, of course he had sex with Vanity, but I'm also sure that he had sex with Madonna. They did date, for a couple of months in, I think, 1985. And I'm pretty sure that he hit that. Let's just keep it honest. Madonna's she's probably been with just about everybody. So, I mean, if you were big in the 80s, with the exception of Michael Jackson, I would say that she definitely slept with Prince and many, many others. But anyway, I digress. So that is number 14. Number 13 is Face Down. Now, Face Down, which is on Emancipation, I loved the Face Down video. And a lot of people mistakenly thought that he was actually ridiculing or talking about Michael Jackson in this. And they thought it was like a diss record to Michael Jackson. I'm like, what are you guys smoking? No, he's talking about himself and the fact that he feels like these record companies are out here literally screwing people, with No Vaseline. This was Prince's version of No Vaseline, which was a diss record that Ice Cube did to NWA. So this was like his version to me of No Vaseline. He's talking about, face down, face down, ass up, you're basically getting screwed, literally. And he felt like, that's what the record companies, what Warner Brothers was doing to him when he was under contract. And so he's like, telling him to kiss my ass and, face down, just make sure you just kiss all my ass, because he, at one point, now this was cursing Prince still. So he was like, for all y'all that don't call, fuck all y'all. Like, he was serious, like, fuck y'all. Like, I've given you what I'm going to give you. Because he did. I mean, they came to an agreement, of course. And I'm going to talk about that, about the whole dispute in another episode. But he came to, he was able to get out of his contract by, giving them Chaos and Disorder, The Vault, Friends for Sale, and what was another project. But him and his lawyers, they kind of worked it out, and so he was able to fulfill his contractual obligations to Warner Brothers. But Face Down was one of those songs, and Morris Hayes, his keyboardist, talked about how the song came about. So the song came about one day when they saw Morris had saw, or maybe it was Prince, one of them had saw some kind of preview or review of Prince's album. I'm not sure which one it was, but they didn't really have very nice things to say, apparently, the reviewer. And so Morris was just like, you know what, fuck them, da 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 da. So he's going off, and all the things that Morris said, Prince put in the song. That's what Morris Hayes would say later. So that's how Face Down came about, and it's still one of my favorite videos when I go to watch it. So that's number 13. Number 12 is Let's Pretend We're Married, which is off of 1999. So Let's Pretend We're Married has the iconic Prince and the purple trench coat and the long purple trench coat and the boots, the whole nine. The layered white shirt. When you think of Prince, a lot of people think of this aesthetic, and his, and the video just matches it all the way. Like the smoke, the, him, sliding across the floor, blowing a kiss. Like, I really like all of it. And it's one of the few early, records that he did that didn't have, there was quite a few that didn't have a guitar, but this one didn't have a guitar. And that's why you see Dez in a video on the keyboard, because, Dez, of course, was the guitarist. But, because there wasn't a guitar riff or anything in the song, so he put him on the keyboard. That's what Dez would say in his book. And I just love the whole video because Prince is just at his, almost at the height of his fame. This was right before Purple Rain. But in 1999, he was really starting to get a following. And this video is proof of that. I mean, even Lisa, she had on her little black dress with her, cleavage out. So she looked hot, and, it was kind of hard to see everybody though, and all that smoke, to be honest, but it's still a great video. I read somewhere also that because of the type of chemicals that they use to make the smoke, that some people got really sick. They got like diarrhea and, all type of stuff. I don't know if that happened to Prince, but I know some people were saying, like, on the crew that, because it wasn't just that video. It was also the 1999 video as well that they did, I think, on the same soundstage. And so it really caused some illness. So, but yeah, it was a great video. Great song as well. So that is number 12. Number 11 is I Hate You. So, of course, he's talking about Carmen Electra in the song. And he had Mayte in the video. And so Mayte, she does this wonderful little dance back and forth. But what's funny to me about this video that I really like is like when they're in the courtroom and, she has like this, looks like she has like a piece of ribbon or something in her hair. And like they're the same height because, she pushes him when he tries to act like, he pushes her head down at one point, and she like pushes him away. And it's just kind of funny how they're kind of like playing with each other a little bit in the courtroom. And I like the whole setup of the video, and I like the song as well. And I think I Hate You was one of the last songs that Prince did that ended up in the top 10. But I mean, the video, I like the black guitar that he puts between Mayte's legs, and then he does I think the guitar solo in I Hate You is kind of underrated. It's also a really good guitar solo. And at some point, I'm going to put together a countdown of my favorite guitar solos. But that's one of my favorites as well, as I Hate You. And like the video, you could tell the way Prince was, acting, the way he looked, like he's seeing Mayte sitting down, talking to somebody else, talking to a guy, and he's just all in his feelings. And that actually happened in real life. Mayte talked about going out, having breakfast at the hotel, while they were on tour, and Prince found out and just got all types of upset. And according to Carmen, she said that's all she did, was that she went out and just had breakfast with a guy that Prince would later accuse her of, sleeping with, and supposedly Carmen Electra had sent Prince a used condom in some type of envelope or something. I don't know. There's all kind of stories, and you don't know what's true and what's not. But anyway, that's I Hate You. So now we're getting into the top 10. So I just mentioned this one just a little while ago, but number 10 is 1999. So 1999 is another classic Prince music video. And it was actually the very first Prince video that premiered on MTV back in the early 80s. And it actually premiered before Michael Jackson's Beat It. Not Beat It. What was it? Billie Jean. I think Billie Jean was the first from Michael Jackson that debuted. But Billie Jean premiered, I think, March of 1983. And actually, the 1999 video from Prince debuted in December of 1982. So it actually came out before any of Michael Jackson's stuff. Now, Michael Jackson was the first African American to have his stuff in heavy rotation, because Prince's 1999, they would show it, but they would show it more sporadically. But by the time Michael came on the scene, they started showing his stuff more heavily. But a lot of people don't know that actually, Prince premiered on MTV before Michael Jackson did. And he did it with this video in 1999. And I've read where, the reason why Prince was able to kind of do that crossover was because he had some Caucasians, in the video, like with Lisa, and of course his girlfriend at the time, Jill Jones. She looks white, but she's actually biracial, and but she looks white. And so, he had these two white women kind of being all sexy with each other, and of course, and then he's got Matt Fink and Bobby Z, who are also Caucasian. And then it was just him and Dez were the only two, black people. And so at that time, unfortunately, that was the only way that, black artists could really cross over, is they had to appeal to the white audience. And because of that, a lot of people, even to this day, kind of feel like Prince kind of sold out and left behind his black audience. But that's really not the case. And I talk about that in some of my earlier episodes. There's actually the very first season I did of the podcast. If for those who are just curious and want to go back, I did an episode called Prince and Race. And I'm thinking about maybe doing a part 2 to that at some point. But in there, I do talk about some of these issues of, trying to cross over into the mainstream and having to appeal to, a wider audience. So that is number 10. Number 9 is Dirty Mind. So why I like the Dirty Mind video is because kind of at the end, he does the split and, and he's, just in the trench coat and his bikini briefs and, the leg warmers and all that. But at the end, he kind of looks at the camera all sexy and was like, I just really want to just lay you down. And then, but before that, he kind of does this thing where he pulls his trench coat back and, I really get a dirty mind. And, because, I'm finna look. So I see his little Prince just kind of standing out there a little bit. And I'm just like, Prince is bold as hell to be doing this, especially in the early 80s when, it was super conservative. We're talking about Ronald Reagan being president. He's like a uber conservative Republican. He was like the Trump of the 80s, okay? So it's just like crazy to me that, he was able to get away with this at this particular time. But Dirty Mind, and of course I love the song. And it's another kind of video. A lot of Prince's early videos all had him they were basically just like concert videos of him, on a concert stage with his band. So very, it was a very similar, setting for most of them, but it still worked. And I love the Dirty Mind video. And I like how skinny he is when he starts jumping around. And at the time when I first started watching this video, it looked like my daughter was up there. Like they were literally the same size. Now she's bigger than Prince now, but at the time they were about the same size, same height. I was just like, wow. I would look at my daughter sometime and be like, that is the same size that Prince was. That's crazy to me. Okay. moving on. So number 8 is Why You Wanna Treat Me So Bad. So y'all already know why I like this video, because Prince's hair was everything. I mean, it was such a vibe. It made the whole video to me. Like, when I first saw this video, I had to keep it on repeat constantly, because I loved his hair. I love the song. I loved how he had, the fabric on the microphone, and he was, doing little tricks with it, and, he brung it back up, and he was over there rubbing up against Dez, and then, just like doing all this, he was very reminiscent, from, what is his name? Mick Jagger. He had the moves like Jagger, in that video he definitely did, and then he did like that split high jump, and, people would say later, and I think Apollonia's ass even said this crazy mess, that he actually got that move from David Lee Roth. And I'm like, the song Jump came out in 84. This came out in 79. No, ma'am. No. If anything, David Lee Roth got that from Prince. So let's get that understood. And I remember there was even some debate on the Facebook page, not on mine, but one of the other Facebook page, about that high split jump move that he did in this video. But that's another reason why I like it. And I mean, like I said, of course, Prince was just so sexy. He was like 21 years old. He looked so good. You could tell that he was already the showman, and of course the guitar solo is just so perfect for the song. That's one of the things I really, really love about Prince and his musicianship, is he just knows the exact type of guitar solo to give to any particular song that he's doing. And I mean, he is just a master at that. So that is number 8. Number 7 is Kiss. So Kiss, I love Kiss from the moment I heard it. And actually, Kiss was one of the first Prince songs that I remember hearing. And I really didn't hear it until I saw the Under the Cherry Moon video. And actually, I didn't see the Kiss video first. I saw the Under the Cherry Moon part at the end of the movie where Kiss comes on. But I went back, many years, of course, later, and watched the video. And I love the video because it's another video where Prince is kind of putting his body on display. Not in the same way that he did with Dirty Mind, but, he's got his little bird chest out with his little pants. And he's just so adorable because he's so little. I'm just like, him so little. I love it. He had his slick back hair. He had on his, his little midriff shirt with his chain, and it's almost like he's so masculine but feminine at the same time. Like, he really was able to combine the two, like, so perfectly. And so supposedly the reason why, I don't know if this is the reason why, but he didn't really care too much for the dancer, and that was the reason why he put the veil over her, because he thought that she wasn't pretty. And there was another girl that he thought was pretty, like the one with the shades. He liked her. He thought she was pretty. But the other dancer, he didn't really care for how she looked. And so I don't know if the veil was something he came up with, or his management, or whoever, but supposedly that's the rumor why the model in the video is wearing a veil. And but I like the aesthetic of the video. I even like the fact that Wendy was in the video playing guitar, even though Prince did that guitar riffs on the record. I think that she just fit right into the video. I thought it was a fun video. And at the very beginning of the video, I don't know if people are really paying attention to this, but he's actually looking like, to me, it's looking like, before he does that little weird sound, he's actually looking like he's shooting, like he's trying to score, like he's shooting free throws or something. And I was just like, oh, okay, Prince, I don't really know what you're doing, but do you, boy. So that is number 7. Number 6 is Glam Slam. Thank you, ma'am. You really made my day, off of Love Sexy. So I love Glam Slam video because, once again, Prince's hair is a whole vibe. It's curly and long and beautiful. And he's got that, he likes to blindfold himself a lot. And going back to even the Somewhere Here on Earth video, he has a blindfold. So that's kind of, and of course in Purple Rain, he does the whole blindfold thing. He kind of just likes that. But in this video, this is the first video that I seen where he was, blindfolded the whole time, and he's playing the acoustic guitar, and, he's kind of flirting with Kat, dancing with her, and just like, and then, he's got the Game Boys doing their dancing, and the violinist, and, even Sheila on the drums. It's kind of like another like setup where they're at a concert, and, playing at a concert, but it's great. Like, I just love the way he's got, his polka dot suit on with his polka dot shoes. So I just like the way he looks, and at the very end of the video, he takes the blindfold off and he looks at Kat all seductively, and he, gets up, and I'm just like, I love it. Like, it looked like he had almost like crimps or something in his hair. It was really curly and then really straight at the bottom. And it was just bouncy. It was full of body, just like his hair and Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad video. So it's another video that I just always go back to and look, because I'm just like, damn, he looks so good in this video. So that is Glam Slam at number 6. Number 5 is Party Man. Party Man. Rock a party like nobody can. So how Prince managed to have half a face of white makeup and still be fine, I don't know. But he did. And the Party Man video has a lot going on. A lot of subliminals. Like, for example, with the whole chimp and the Batman shirt. Also, I think that was kind of a hit against Michael. And the reason why I say that, because in the Moonwalker movie, Michael Jackson, the little boy that plays Michael Jackson, somebody was asking where his chimp Bubble was. No, Michael was asking, baby Michael, kid Michael, whatever you want to call him, was asking, okay, where's Bubbles? And so one of his friends was like, he was last seen wearing a Prince t-shirt. And I'm just like, oh, okay, Michael. Okay, here we go. And so I guess knowing Prince, because Michael and Prince, they would keep up with each other's projects, what they had going on. And so I'm pretty sure that Prince saw Moonwalker. And so when he heard, the chimp had on a Prince t-shirt, he was like, oh, okay, well, we're going to have this chimp wear a Batman t-shirt and say, psych. He gave the chimp a banana peel, but it didn't have a banana in it. And I think that might be related to a article that was in like the tabloids. I think it was in the National Enquirer. This crazy, and some of y'all may have seen this crazy article about Prince being able to control Bubbles through ESP. Like, it was so crazy. Like, if I find it, I'll have to try to put it back on the page. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that Michael, maybe even Prince too, definitely Prince. I don't know about Michael, but definitely Prince may have read that, or someone brought it to his attention. And he was just like, well, I'm going to play on this on the Party Man video. And that's exactly what he did. And another part of the Party Man video that I found interesting was when he was sitting at the piano and, underneath the piano, and he had the girl kind of tugging on him a little bit. So I'm just like, okay, what is that? Why is the girl like pulling on him like that? And so I think he was trying to be kind of subliminally like she's supposed to be like, doing something to him. But they played it. They made it so PG that you didn't catch it. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me and, my mind being in the gutter. But, she's like pulling on him. And I don't know if she's pulling on him to get his attention or I don't know what. But she was very attractive. And she's definitely a girl that I think Prince would have, definitely smashed at least. So, but I like his suit in the video. And like I said, I love his makeup. I mean, he looks gorgeous. And he does this fantabulous split. Almost as soon as the beat drops. Or right before, right as the beat is dropping, he does this magnificent split, full split. And then he comes back up, and, we also have Candy Duffler, which was one of his saxophone players in the video. You even see Michael Bland, and everybody's in like, half white makeup, and it's just, a really great aesthetic for the Batman album. And I'm not sure who directed the video, but they did a wonderful job, because at the end, of course, he put something, well, no, in the beginning, he put something in the water and it, poisons everybody and everybody dies. And it's just one of those videos. It's a fun video, kind of like Bat Dance in the same vein. I just love it. It's just one of those videos I always come back and just watch every now and then. Speaking of a Bat Dance, that is number 4. So Bat Dance, the song, will always have a special place in my heart, because Bat Dance was actually the very first Prince song I ever heard. And when I would go back and watch the video, the video is, of course, based around the movie. And the guitar solo, once again, very underrated. One of his best guitar solos I think I have ever heard. And I mean, it's straight rock and roll, straight like metal even. It sounds like to me, and I don't even really listen to metal rock. Well, I don't at all. I'm gonna just be honest. But if I did listen to like more metal rock and roll, that guitar solo sounds more like it would be like in that vein of type of the rock and roll. And also I loved like his little, he went from being Gemini, which of course is the character that he plays that is half Joker, half Batman. Gemini is also in this video, and they're doing the choreography, and they've got all the women coming out, like Vicky Vale. I like that part. But I also like the part with Prince and his long hair, and he's over there by all the, I don't know what you call, like I guess the studio or whatever. And he has this line, "Hey Ducky, let me put the 7-inch in the computer." And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Prince? Like, are you trying to, I never did understand that line. Like, I kind of think I know what he's talking about, but at the same time, I just liked the way he looked when he said it. Like, he had that little mischievous smile that he always has. Like, "Hey, Ducky, let me put the 7-inch in the computer." I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So that is number 4. So number 3, we've got Raspberry Beret. Even though Prince hated his hair in this video, he said he had Hulk hair. Well, the reason why his hair was cut so short for the Raspberry Beret video was because he was supposed to have gotten his hair dyed blonde, but the dye didn't take, and it actually broke his hair out. And so I think his hairdresser at the time, I believe, was Earl Jones, who was Jill Jones's uncle. All he could do to kind of save Prince's hair was to cut it that way, cut it short. And so because of that, Prince hated his hair. But of course, we know Raspberry Beret, the video, the most memorable part being that cloud suit, classic cloud suit that he had on. And I love the video. I even love the way it starts. It starts like, everybody's kind of, waiting around, kind of dancing, kind of do their own thing. And there's a couple of girls, this one Asian chick, she was just really getting it. She had on one of Prince's outfits. And I think she had on like the gold outfit that he had on in Under the Cherry Moon. And she was just getting it, And then the lady who was, the lady with the Raspberry Beret was actually a girl that, Prince, was probably messing with. And she would later be on Cheers with Vanessa Bartholomew, aka Kirstie Alley. But the girl, she played Woody Allen's girlfriend in Cheers. And I can't think of her name right now, but she was the girl who handed Prince his guitar. And Prince actually wrote a song for her. And I can't think of it. It's called something Pomelo's Ride or something like that. But anyway, I'm pretty sure they messed around. So there's that. But I loved his cloud suit. I mean, just iconic. I mean, it just fit the whole eclectic vibe of the video. And I mean, I even like how they did the little everybody went down. Everybody was kind of doing, the same movement at the same time. And, they would clap and then go back down and then, get back up and clap. Like, I would always watch that particular part over and over because I thought it was so cool. So that is Raspberry Beret number 3. So number 2 is Little Red Corvette. Clap, clap. So I like Little Red Corvette because I just love once again, the aesthetics, the colors, the red, kind of matching with the red lights and the purple. And the one thing that I first remember when I first saw the Little Red Corvette video was not only his little dance that he does at kind of at the end, but the fact that as soon as it comes on, even before you see Prince's face, he sticks his heel out. I don't know why that always kind of sticks out to me, but he sticks his heel out, and you're just like, oh, okay, what's about to happen, And then the video comes on, and as soon as he says, "Honey, I said, little red Corvette," pop up, you see his face, and you just see that he's just so beautiful, and he's slicking his hair back, and just he has just a beautiful face. Like, if a lot of people on YouTube, when they react to Little Red Corvette, because that's a lot of if it's not Purple Rain, it's either Little Red Corvette is a lot of their first reactions to Prince, and they always comment that they just love the way he looks. And Prince is he's interesting to look at, and they say you can't stare at him for too long. Comedians like Jamie Foxx and others have talked about how pretty Prince looks, but it's so true. He is just such a beautiful man. And but he's also a showman, because once again, he's doing a little, he takes the microphone stand and brings it back to him, which that's not original. Yes, James Brown would do that, and other people, but it just looks great when he does it. So what else can I say about the Little Red Corvette video? And then at the end, when he's just like, "Give me the keys, I'm gonna try to chain your little red machine," yow, and he says a little yow part, you can just tell Prince is serious. Like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna be able to train you right. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna learn you right. He just has that. Oh, he just has those come fuck me eyes. And I think I even commented that under the video on YouTube, because he's just like, "Wow, come get me." So that's Little Red Corvette. Finally, number 1, drum roll, I don't know if y'all can hear that, is When Doves Cry. What else could it be, y'all? Honestly, When Doves Cry, when those doors open, I've seen this in a meme, the world changed. And that is absolutely 100% correct, because the first thing you hear is that amazing guitar riff. And there have been times where I've watched the When Doves Cry video and just played that part over and over and over and over and over, because it's so iconic now. That and the tub, like Desi, I think that's her name, on Facebook, she actually had an interesting discussion question. She asked, if you could live in any world of a Prince video, what would it be? And I said When Doves Cry. My other one was Somewhere Here on Earth. But my first choice was When Doves Cry, because I want to get in that tub. With Prince, without Prince, either way, I want to get in the tub. Like, the tub looks so sexy and inviting. I'm a Scorpio. I'm a water sign. I'm all about some water, y'all. So then him coming up out of the tub, another iconic scene of him being in the tub first, and then him coming up and him putting his hand out like, "Come follow me." But another thing that I find really funny about the When Doves Cry video is the doves themselves. So there's this one dove that, he or she is flying, and he kind of gets really close to the to the tub, because I guess he's thinking, oh, maybe if I stick around for a little bit, maybe he's gonna give me a snack. So he just kind of sits there, and then the next shot is Prince, coming up out of the tub, and then he's crawling across the floor. And I don't know if it's the same dove, but I kind of think that it probably is. He's like, okay, fuck him, he ain't got no snacks. So I'm gonna just fly my ass away. So I love the video. Of course, the video was really good PR, of course, for the movie Purple Rain. And it came out in May of 1984, and the movie came out in July, and the Purple Rain, the album, came out in June. So it went from, so it was really, a really good opener, and I'm sure it got a lot of people interested in the upcoming movie. And, it has a lot of these different shots, of the movie and things like that. But I like the video for just that iconic bathtub scene. I like everything else is kind of pretty standard as far as like, clips from the movie and things like that. So that part is okay. But I mean, you can't take away just the iconic bathtub scene. And so that is why When Doves Cry is my favorite video. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and end the episode right there. So I've got some stuff coming up. I said on the Facebook page that I'm going to be doing a review of the documentary, what's it called? Slave something. I can't remember the name of it now. But anyway, it is about Prince's dispute with Warner Brothers, and it's talking about how he pretty much changed the music industry as we know it. And it's called, I can't remember. Anyway, so I'm going to be reviewing that and talking about his dispute with Warner Brothers. And I've also got, what else do I got coming up? I think that's the only thing right now. And I've got, of course, the Come album that I'm going to be reviewing and some other things as well. Morris Day, I'm going to also be eventually doing his book and Maite's book. And I'm going to also probably do a live and talk about, this so-called her turning this book into a movie thing and just get y'all's feedback on what y'all think on it. But anyway, I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to let y'all have it tonight. So until I hear from you guys again, or till y'all hear from me again, rather, peace and be wild, and may you live to see the dawn. Bye.